What's the biggest lie that society still believes? That people get what they deserve, or must deserve what they get. That acne will go away after your teen years. Diamonds are rare with us. Why they are expensive? They are very common. Their price is kept high by controlling how many enter the market by the De Beers Group, which basically has a monopoly on them and hoards them. Synthetic/lab grown diamonds are the exact same as natural and even cheaper to make, but people are still convinced they are not as good as real diamonds. Go to a great college and get a great job and have a great life. That mice like cheese. Mice cannot digest cheese. That torture is an effective method of extracting information. Every 10 years or so, some three-letter agency or another is forced to admit that their torture program yielded nothing but false leads and wrecked lives, then goes straight back to doing it. The general population shrugs and says if it's the only way to get intel, as if they weren't just told point blank that it doesn't work. Politicians care about you. It baffles me how people treat their choice of candidate like the second coming of Jesus, but promptly forget all that craziness once the politician is in office. It baffles me even more how they seem to repeat the process every election season like the previous ones never happened. Vote for whomever you want. Just don't pretend you're not doing it for your own self-interest. That we need to work tirelessly and wear ourselves out in order to have a good future and stay happy. Microwaves give you cancer. Had a conversation with a coworker about this. Thought we sorted it out. Later shared the meme where a kid watered two plants. One with water, boiled on a stove. The other in a microwave. Water was cooled afterwards. The meme made a comment of the microwaves changing the water's DNA. Money doesn't buy happiness. I feel like it does to some extent. Money doesn't buy happiness, but financial stress can prevent happiness. You can be rich and depressed, or you can be rich and happy, but you can't be happy if you're constantly worried that you are going to lose your home. What goes around comes around. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm a bit late, but hear me out. The biggest lie we are told is that we, the average person, is responsible for pollution of air, ocean and climate change, and not the big corporations. Also, even if all of us reduce our wastes and carbon footprint, the net impact that it's going to make is zero, as the rich are still polluting on scales we cannot imagine. I've been saying this for years, but everyone said I was an asshole, which is fair. The big push for electric cars is a good example. I think cure climate change by spending a ludicrous amount of money on a ton of plastic filled with lithium batteries, which probably don't come from an environmentally friendly lithium mine, which has to be shipped halfway around the world on those enormous diesel-powered ships, which are known to make up one of the most polluting industries, and which is powered by your local fossil fuel power plant. Oh, and your electricity monthly rate is now twice as expensive. To save the planet, and you be grateful to Elon Musk / anonymous corporations / sinister cabals of multi-billionaires for helping you go into debt. Save the planet. In the Bible Belt, that abstinence-only intimacy education works. The high rate of teen pregnancy in many areas of the Bible Belt makes it pretty obvious that the abstinence-only approach doesn't work at all. Teens are gonna do what teens are gonna do. I know that all of those parents know that too. I mean, some of the people I went to high school with had grandparents in their damn 40s. It's a damn shame that many parents here won't allow their kids to learn about safe intimacy, or just give teens easy access to condoms and other forms of birth control. Better to teach teens how to do stuff safely than to let loads of them pump out babies and or get STDs before they even have a chance to graduate. That anything is possible, so long as you work hard. That vaccines cause autism. This one infuriates me as someone who has an autistic brother. Trickle-down economics work. It seemed like it would work in theory, and if I got a tax break, I would create jobs and give more money. Sadly, greed rules the world. The thing with this theory is that it doesn't exist. It's not in economics books. You don't learn it in college, and probably no serious economist defends this idea. It's only a political thing politicians talk about, but it's not real. I mean, the Laffer curve is a real economic concept. Milton Friedman was real too. The Chicago School of Economics was real economic school of thought that acquired enormous influence in the 70s and 80s and supplanted Keynesian thought as the prominent beltway theory of economics. It's a pretty clearly failed approach to economics at this point, which amounts to a race to the bottom and a wealth giveaway to the already wealthy. But to say there was / not school of thought behind it isn't accurate. Trickle-down economics as a phrase is just a political slogan used to package all those sell-side economic theories for political ends. Time heals everything. If anything, time destroys everything in the end. Expiration dates mean the food is bad. We waste so much food in the US, at least. Best before just means the manufacturer guarantees that the product has its intended properties. A yogurt with some whey on top isn't bad, although sour milk products and cheeses are after all ways to preserve milk. Use by is usually on products that are rifey, mincemeat, chicken, fish. They do go bad quickly, and eating them could have some uncomfortable consequences, but usually sensory testing works just fine. Look at it closely, sniff it, if that's okay, taste it. Cook protein-rich foods thoroughly. No chicken sashimi, even when it's still within its use by time. If you have anosmia, let someone else sniff the food. Everything will be okay. This is probably the only thing I actually truly believe in. I've had a lot of struggles in my life, like most folk, but that thought of this terrible time doesn't last forever. This isn't the rest of my life. At some point, everything will be okay, and I won't even notice it got better. It just will be. It's gotten me this far. The concept that Christianity is a religion, but the Greek and Norse have mythologies and that because of that, we think about them differently. I'm not trying to start an argument, but they're the same. They're all mythologies and because of that, all equally viable. The Crusaders won their invasions. The police are here to protect you. Even in my country, which is supposedly one of the more well-off places, the police aren't here to prevent crime. They're here to clean up and document it, no matter the country. Don't take police who actively chase criminals or render aid for granted. That working hard will get you ahead. No, working hard just gets you more work. Moving up is very much based on who you know and how much they can get out of you. Plastic recycling. The food pyramid. It's just made up information paid by the big cereal corporations 100 years ago to push carbs, mostly sugar, into people's diets. Too many people still believe that all fat is bad in any amount. Anything in excess is bad. Moderation is key. The election was stolen. He's a stable genius. He will release his taxes after elected. He has the best healthcare plan. It costs less and covers everyone. He's the most fit president ever. America first. Perfect call. All the best people. We will build the wall and Mexico will pay for it. He will lock Hillary up. The US stock market is a free market. Inflation is caused by raising bottom wages. Inflation is caused by companies wanting to maintain margins and people at the top wanting to make more money. The stock market actually drives inflation. For a company to continue to have a good stock valuation, they must show the ability to consistently be profitable and or show growth. For some, this is impossible without exploiting low-wage labor. In a lot of company structures, salaries and wages compose the majority of the budget. So if they want to make more money, they raise the cost of a product to match the raise in wages, because God forbid they forego their stock valuation and miss out on the millions in bonuses.